Hello everybody, my name is Paul Jenkins and welcome to the ThePackHub's latest packaging webinar, Sustainable Packaging Innovations. Very pleased that you could join me today. As I said, my name is Paul Jenkins, I'm Managing Director of UK Packaging Innovation Consultancy, ThePackHub. And what we're going to cover in the next sort of 40 to 45 minutes or so is the following. We'll just have 60 seconds on the ThePackHub and our Innovation Zone packaging platform. We'll then talk through 32 sustainable packaging innovations. These are split into sort of 4 trend areas of naturally done, so that's sort of compostable, bio-based and biodegradable type packaging. Recycling resurgence, which is all the recycling and recycled content and increased recyclability initiatives. Materially change, so that's about sort of switching from one material to another for sustainability reasons. A lot of that is moving out of plastic into sort of fibre and paper-based materials, but it can also be the other way. And finally is a refill revolution, which is an increase really in the numbers of refillable and reusable packaging initiatives that we're tracking on our Innovation Zone platform. So would welcome your questions, which we'll attempt to answer at the end. So I think there is a Q&A button on your Zoom panel. So please annotate any questions that you have, and I'll do my very best to answer them at the end. If I can't answer them clearly and concisely, I will drop you a line with more information if I possibly can. And then we'll have details of our next event. So as I say, get your questions in. As I said, there's a Q&A section that you can do that through. And some people quite like using the chat functionality and actually sort of answering their own questions in that way. So feel free to do that as well. You will get a link to this webinar recording post-event via email. We'll get that out to you as soon as possible. And all our webinars are available on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ThePackHub. Okay, so just a minute or so on the ThePackHub. We're a leading packaging innovation consultancy for anyone out there that doesn't know us yet. So we offer sort of 4 areas of service. The first is project management and technical support. So we can help with your projects, large and small. We do events, clearly we do webinars, but we also do in-person events, and we're working on our next face-to-face event. More information on that soon. But we've done about 12 of them over the last few years or so. We regularly publish reports. Our latest one is Refillable and Reusable Packaging Compendium, Volume 2, which is just out now, which covers hundreds of latest refillable and reusable packaging innovations, plus also 10 interviews from the likes of the Reusable Packaging Association, Tesco, Dizzy, and 7 more. So a really good insight into all things reusable and refillable in our reports. And last but not least is our Innovation Zone packaging platform. I know a lot of you are familiar with this now, but just 10 seconds or so on it. We've got over 6,300 packaging initiatives listed. We upload 25 new innovations every week. These are from concept and pilots through to sort of in-market launches, very much a global view, very good in terms of both inspiration and idea generation and keeping packaging teams up to speed with what's going on. So if you're interested in finding out more about our Innovation Zone, please drop me a line and I can arrange a demo and talk you through how it all works. So without further ado, let's look at some packaging innovations. So these are some sustainable packaging innovations from our Innovation Zone packaging database that I think you should know. This is sort of a bit of a caveat that I say at all our webinars. What I'm about to show you is a reflection of what's going on in the market. So this is an indication of the kind of initiatives that are coming to our attention. These aren't hand-picked 32 of the best sustainable packaging innovations that we've seen, but rather they are, as I say, a reflection of what's going on in the market, because I think it's important for you to see what other companies are doing, and some will be more sustainable in inverted commas than others, and yeah, as I say, I think it's important to reflect what's going on in the market. So as I said, the first section is naturally done. So this is biodegradable, compostable, and bio-based packaging development. So the first innovation is from Israeli compostable packaging manufacturer TEPA, and I was at the London Packaging Week event last week in Olympia, and I'm sure if you listening now were also there, and TEPA were showcasing this new initiative. So it's been out just a week. And they've announced the launch of a new high barrier compostable film aimed at snack products such as crisps and nuts. TEPA say that their 312 MET film has superior sealing properties and a particularly high barrier that enables quick converting without the need for additional sealing layer. TEPA says that as well as being suitable for salty snacks, it is also a good solution for other products such as granola, coffee, and even meat. As you would expect, the material is assigned to the various different standards such as EN 13432 and ASTM D6400 and a couple of others. Yeah, so it's assigned to the various different compostable standards. Interestingly, the UK apparently is the third highest consumer of crisps and salty snacks worldwide. I think we're the greediest in Europe, and with 6 billion packs consumed each year. WRAP says that the UK disposes of 290,000 tons of flexible packaging each year, and it is claimed that about 6% is being recycled, and a lot of that is through the relatively recently introduced retailer schemes where you go in and take in your flexible packaging, and I've certainly been doing that for the last 9 months or so. Next up, we've got an innovation from Ukraine. It's fair to say there isn't too much research and development work coming out of that market for very obvious reasons, but we've got a startup here called Relief Paper. We first featured this business in our innovation zone last year, when they announced that they were able to make a packaging material out of fallen leaves. And they've taken that development a stage further with the launch of a range of paper bags, as I say, made out of sort of fallen leaf material. In a patented process, cellulose is extracted from the leaves, which is then processed into paper and ultimately paper bags. The bags are available on their newly launched website, which is aimed at small to medium-sized businesses, and a range of 9 different sizes is available to buyers both in the EU and the UK. Relief says that their bags are naturally biosafe, stylish and strong, and the largest one supports up to 8 kilograms of weight. The technology employed allowed them to reduce CO2 emissions by a claimed 78% during the production of the material, and the bags are said to decompose within 60 days in the right conditions. Expected customers include both offline and online stores that sell things like cosmetics, clothes, handmade goods, organic food, and other consumer goods. Obviously, fallen leaves are in abundance at certain times of year, so it's always good to use an alternative material that has a secondary use that effectively comes free of charge. Next up, we have a design from streetwear designer Daniel Bailey, also known by the smart kids as Mr. Bailey, and so I don't know who he is. And they're launching a Adidas Originals sneakers as part of the product's radical look. They've chosen to go for a box made mushroom derived, while internally the trainers are encased in an inflated sack made of sugarcane and cellulose, apparently looking to imitate the hood for jellyfish. The box was designed with the help of research and development studio Black Ink Projects, while England-based Magical Mushroom Company, who you may have come across, grew and provided the biodegradable mushroom-based material, which directly replaces EPS, expanded polystyrene. The mushroom packaging is naturally water resistant, and when broken into smaller pieces, decomposes into the ground within 45 days. It can also be mixed into food waste at the end of its life to be converted into a biogas alternative or electricity or fuel. Alternatively, if the customer wishes to keep the box, it is designed apparently to last for up to 30 years when kept under dry conditions. I particularly like the sort of debossing effect on the front of that pack, and the very sort of clean and sort of natural, inobtrusive branding that pack has. So that's quite an interesting design there. But we have sort of mushroom packaging being used from time to time, and as I say, the mushroom packaging, magical packaging company, the Magical Mushroom Company, sorry, have been working quite hard on a number of initiatives of late. Next up is from Aquapack, and they've been part of our webinars in recent times, and they're a UK-based manufacturer of a product called Hydropol, and you may have, if you've watched our webinars in the past, know a little bit about them. And they formed a partnership with Italian distributor of plastic and rubber materials, Resonex. Resonex will distribute Aquapack's Hydropol exclusively as a barrier film in all European countries except Italy, Spain, and Portugal. Hydropol is made from PVOH, the base plastic commonly used for dishwasher tablets and ingestible pill casings and soluble stitches. It is biodegradable, compostable, non-toxic to the environment, and marine safe, ensuring responsible end of life if disposed of properly. Hydropol enables product design to provide essential functionality while increasing recycling and reducing plastic pollution. Aquapack says the barrier packaging market in Europe is worth £430 million, and Resonex has committed to purchasing a minimum of 8,000 metric tons of Hydropol over the next 3 years based on annual targets. So that really is a shot in the arm for Aquapack as they look to roll out their Hydropol solution beyond the UK. Next up is an edible packaging solution. So really this is on the periphery of the sort of viable, sustainable packaging innovations that we track. My personal view is this is always going to be relatively niche for certain reasons. So this is ThePackHub, and they're an Australian startup that have started to make edible bowls, cups, and plates from clean, upcycled organic food waste. The company sources its food waste from the remains of food processing and is made up of things like citrus peel, coffee husks, and the outer layers of cereal, such as wheat. Using waste products from the food industry saves it either going to landfill or being burnt, of course. Although the business, the products are edible, they can also be used for composting and will also biodegrade in around 4 weeks in the right conditions, as they contain no plastic content. The company's products have been independently tested and guaranteed to be 100% safe for consumption and food contact. They also have a shelf life of over a year. Their cups and bowls are also hot water, microwave, and oven safe. And they've started a Kickstarter funding page. And these type of materials tend to have quite a neutral taste. But my personal view is that the novelty of consuming your cup once you've drunk your coffee will be a short one, and maybe the end of life scenario for this particular material is more likely to be compostability rather than being edible, in my opinion. Okay, the next section is recycling, and it's fair to say we're tracking a tremendous amount of initiatives in this area. I did a quick look on our Innovation Zone platform recently, and I think nearly half of all the initiatives that we're writing about are to do with increased recyclability or increased recycled content. And obviously, we've got things like the UK plastic packaging tax and plastic packs around the world, which is encouraging the use of 100% recycled content and 100% recyclability and increased recycled content of up to 30%. So what are we seeing? So this one is from China. So this is the NICE group, and they're a multinational enterprise specializing in home and personal care products. In a joint collaboration with Dow Chemicals and Amcor, they have moved their previously non-recyclable toothpaste tubes to a new recyclable formulation. Standard toothpaste tubes traditionally contain an aluminium layer, rendering them unrecyclable in the majority of curbside collections. The new tubes are made from a PE-EVOH combination and are made of Dow's high barrier Elite AT advanced technology PE resin, which is said to offer high processability as well as high shrink, ultra high stiffness, sealability, and good organoleptics. The material has then passed to Amcor, who designed and converted the tube, continuously adjusting its manufacturing and converting system to ensure operational efficiency and safety. Now, this is one of several toothpaste packaging initiatives we've seen in this area to increase and improve recyclability. And I've noticed, I think recently Tesco have got a campaign to reduce the amount of unnecessary toothpaste packaging in their offerings, particularly with things like outer boxes, which arguably are super, unnecessarily required as part of the product presentation. The new tube will be used across all of Nice Group's toothpaste brands, and the move is reported to prevent 3,000 tons of waste going to landfill in a year. Another big move is from Muller Milk and Ingredients UK, and they've announced that they have converted 75% of their cream volume to recycled PET pots, which are made from 82% recycled plastic and are 100% recyclable. Muller says that the move will remove 500 tons of virgin plastic from its annual production of cream pots. The new pots have been rolled out across Muller's 150ml and 300ml cream range and join its fresh milk bottles, which have been 100% recyclable for many years and contain 30% recycled material. So they hit the threshold for not being part of the plastic, the packaging tax. The pots were supplied by a plastic packaging manufacturer, Fair. Muller is also developing solutions for the remaining 25% volume for next year. The new pots were developed in a close collaboration between the two companies to ensure the product had the highest level of recycled content possible, while still maintaining the overall performance of the packaging throughout the supply chain, right through to the end consumer. Now, in our innovation zone, we're not just tracking in-market launches, we're also sort of identifying research and development initiatives, and this is one from scientists at US Research University, Virginia Tech, and they've announced that they have found a way to recycle expanded polystyrene. Now, this is one of several initiatives in this area where people are looking to find ways to economically recycle EPS, expanded polystyrene. The current methods for recycling polystyrene yield a product that is often too low quality to make the process economically viable. The solution that the researchers at Virginia Tech have arrived at was to improve the recycling process to become economically attractive. The researchers found that by exposing material to ultraviolet light and adding a chemical catalyst, the method created a product called DPM that is seen as being very useful. DPM is used as a precursor in drug development, polymer manufacturing, and even as a fragrance in consumer products. Importantly, it has a market price that is 10 times higher than other materials that can currently be made from recycled polystyrene. The method of upcycling creates an incentive for polystyrene to be collected and recycled instead of going into landfill or becoming plastic pollution. So that is a long-term development, and we may one day see its commercialization, but I would suggest that is a few years away, if at all. Next up is Finnish packaging manufacturer Huhtamaki, and they are launching a recyclable ice cream packaging in the North American market. Their Icon cups and lids utilize a new water-based barrier coating that is repulpable, allowing cups to be recycled where local facilities exist. Icon is manufactured using 95% renewable bio-based materials and have been verified by the bio-based ASTM D6866 standard. By moving away from PE coated cups to Icon, This eliminates a reported 1.3 tonnes of PE per 1 million cups, meaning a smaller footprint in the freezer section. And this is one of several ice cream better recyclable packs that we've reported in recent times. 21 tonnes of paperboard will also be removed from landfills for every 1 million cups that are recycled. And when recycled, over 90% of the paper fibre is recoverable. All the consumer needs to do is give the cup a wash to remove any residue, flatten and add to other paper board packaging for recycling. And there perhaps is the challenge that consumers may not necessarily do that in that order. But the board used for Icon is SFI certified and has a premium print surface. Another in development opportunity that I'd like to share with you today is from the University of Turku, Finland, and their One-Way Lee Research Group. And they've been looking into a new type of material called supramolecular plastics that could substitute conventional polymeric plastics with a more environmentally friendly material, promoting sustainable development. Mechanical properties of the plastic created by the researchers uses liquid-liquid phase separation, LLPS, where were comparable to conventional polymers. Traditional plastics are formed as a result of the inherent strong force of covalent bonds that link monomers for the formation of polymers. However, for the creation of supramolecular plastics, the polymers are connected by non-covalent bonds that are not as powerful as the covalent bonds. LLPS technology sequesters and concentrates solutes, strengthening the bonding force between molecules and driving the formation of the material, meaning the resulting material is comparable with conventional polymers. Lots of big words and big explanations there, so hopefully you've got a grasp of what they're trying to achieve. An innovation which is slightly easy to explain is an Irish tortilla chip manufacturer, and they've moved their range of corn tortilla chips to what they're claiming to be fully recyclable packaging. The company, Blanco Nino, is said to be the first brand of premium corn tortilla chips in the UK and Ireland to switch to 100% recyclable packaging. The new packaging is made from polypropylene, which is regarded as widely recyclable. It is claimed that PP will keep the tortilla chips fresher for a longer period. So the company says that the consumers obviously are demanding more sustainable products, and they were pleased to rise to this challenge. They also say, as these things always are, the move was not easy or straightforward, but their research and development process eventually made it possible. Yeah, and the Blanco Nino tortilla chips also are gluten-free, vegan-friendly, as well as kosher certified. So, and quite an interesting standout sort of alternative pack shape there as well, which will get noticed on supermarket shelves. Last up in the recycling section, trend area, is a new black master batch that will help with the sorting of dark PET. So two companies have come together to bring a recycling solution hopefully to market. Currently, near-infrared technology, as you probably know, is used to identify the resin types in each product. However, the most common black pigment, carbon black, is not compatible with near-infrared, meaning that dark-coloured packaging cannot be identified or separated by its resin fingerprint. Instead, it is sent to landfill. Now, Amperset and French sorting technology company Pelenec ST are collaborating on the REC NIR Black, a brand of alternative black master batch solutions said to allow PET packaging in dark colours to be cycled on existing recycling lines without compromising current sorting technology. They have also run the final validation tests in semi-industrial trials for the Holy Grail 2.0 project, which you should all mostly be familiar with, resulting in a 99% detection rate and the opportunity to develop new recycling technologies. Next up, so the third of our four trends to focus on today, which is materially changed. So this is about As I mentioned at the beginning, sort of it switches of materials from mostly plastic into sort of fibre and paper, but not sometimes the other way. So the first one is a joint venture between two Finnish companies that has resulted in the launch of an ambitious program to recycle paper-based drinking cups in Europe. Pulp and paper producer Stora Enso and Huhtamäki are launching the Cup Collective with the aim to roll out in Benelux countries by the end of 2022. The Cup Collective aims to recycle 500 million paper cups in the first 2 years, and it's designed to be scalable and has a capacity to significantly increase recycling volumes across Europe. I realise that should have been in the last section. So that should have been my last recyclable initiative, but hopefully that doesn't confuse you too much. The next one definitely is a materially change initiative, so apologies for that bit of confusion. US packaging giant WestRock has announced the launch of CanCollar X, the latest addition to the CanCollar family of fibre-based beverage can packaging solutions. It's fair to say we are tracking quite a few beverage multi-pack collation initiatives that are switching mainly out of sort of plastic ring pull type solutions. I mean, that's almost gone now as a pack format into really a range of different types of paper-based collation. So this one here is from WestRock, and I've got another one to show you after this for plastic PET bottles. WestRock says that its new solution offers a similar fibre-based, glue-free, minimalistic design preferred by many consumers, as it maximizes visibility and is comfortable to handle. According to the company, using CanCollar X can reduce materials by as much as 50% compared to conventional fully enclosed board options. CanCollar X is also aimed at replacing the quantities of PE shrink film currently used worldwide for soft drinks, beer, and sparkling water. And there's a real move away from a PE shrink film at the moment. CanCollar X is packed using the CanCollar Fortuna platform, which is a newly patented beverage packaging machine that uses a series of star wheels and metering screws, along with a highly innovative linear drive system to move containers through a travel path in the machine at high speeds. Next up, another solution in a similar area. From Monday, and they've launched another alternative to PE shrink film for beverage multi-packs. I mean, interestingly, I was in my local supermarket yesterday, and somebody was buying a collation of beer, and the packs all fell on the floor and rolled across the supermarket aisle. He apologized profusely. He was very embarrassed, but actually when he looked at the pack, it was paper-based and it had various apertures around the side, and it wasn't fit for purpose in that scenario. So I don't know how many issues there are with moving out of a very tight and well-formed PE shrink film into other materials, but I think it's possibly fair to say that the instances of those packs breaking at the end consumer may have increased. That's just anecdotal, of course. The new board and paper-based product called Hug and Hold is composed of two parts. The first element is a patent-pending sleeve made of 100% craft paper that wraps around the bottles to hold them securely. Made from Advantage Springback Plus, it offers high tensile strength and can withstand enough weight to strap and stabilize the bottles during transportation. The second element is a corrugated clip that holds the bottles around the neck. An optional integrated handle means a bundle of bottles can be carried and transported easily. The Hug and Hold is available for 500 millilitres up to 1.5 litre PET bottles in bundles of 6 or 4. Next up is a Swedish brand owned by Orkla called Grumma, and they've announced the introduction of laundry, new product for laundry detergent and fabric conditioner into board packaging. So the cartons are similar to those used for milk cartons, and by moving to this format, the company has estimated that it will save 40 tons of plastic per annum. There's no information about whether this carton is recyclable, but presumably the plastic bottles that it's replacing were recyclable. So it's an interesting switch in that case. Also, in my view, there is a slight challenge around using sort of food packaging cues for something that shouldn't be consumed. So hopefully the pack messaging, which is in Swedish, makes it clear that the contents inside shouldn't be consumed by humans. The cartons are similar to those, as I said, used by milk cartons, and by moving to the format, the company has estimated it was saving 40 tons of plastic per annum. The company says that the new packaging means a drastic reduction in fossil plastic consumption, as both the cardboard material and the closure are wood-based and come from Nordic forests. The new packaging means that they are not only reducing the plastic used, but they're also reduced number and more efficient transport, apparently, as the cardboard packaging has a reported improved pallet efficiency of 77%. Glasgow-based Cullen Packaging manufactures sustainable packaging, including moulded pulp and corrugated products. They announced the launch of a paper-based bottle at London Packaging Week in February. It may have been towards the end of last year. They've evolved that solution now to have a sort of a market-ready solution to show us. They've announced the full launch of a fully recyclable moulded pulp product known simply as the fibre bottle. The company says that it is designed for dry goods and will potentially enable brands producing goods such as vitamins, supplements, dry foods, home care, and horticultural products to remove 270 million single-use plastic bottles or pouches from shelves per year. That's quite an ambitious statement. The pioneering fibre bottle is made from 100% natural matter, recycled cardboard and water, and is biodegradable and compostable. In fact, the company itself uses a closed-loop recycling system that utilizes the waste they produce from their corrugated manufacturing process to make their molded fiber products, including this fiber bottle. Cullen points out that for a product of the same size and functionality, the molded fiber has a 63% lower CO2 emission as compared to polystyrene, and is 150% lower compared to PET. And as I say, they first announced this development last year. Another paper-based bottle is from a company called Geyer and Gimble, producers of coastal gin, and they have partnered with Naked Wines as part of their ongoing investment in sustainability. The bottles are made from 94% recycled paper, are 100% recyclable and 5 times lighter than a standard glass bottle. The bottles are manufactured by Frugal Pack, who have probably launched 7 or 8 of these type initiatives across wine, spirits, and I think even olive oil in the last 12 months or so. They're actually based only 40 miles away in Ipswich, which helps reduce the carbon footprint as part of the initiative. Naked Wine has announced that by the end of 2022, more than 20% of the wine bottles will be lighter in weight. So they're not saying that that's through the paper bottle initiative, or if it's just lightweighting of glass. Interesting, someone mentioned at the London Packaging Week last week in one of the presentations about if you're drinking white wine and you put them in a glass in a cooler with a load of ice, that would actually break the paper bottle down. So it doesn't have the useful functionality of glass in that scenario. Rickner is a traditional confectioner and baker based in Switzerland, and they've announced that they are to use Next Plus Advanced from Köhler Packaging for their praline-filled chocolate sticks. It's a barrier paper made of virgin fiber pulp with an oxygen, fat, and mineral oil barrier. This sustainable barrier paper is suitable for the application of cold seal adhesives. It is made from 100% virgin fiber pulp and is suitable for direct food contact, as you would expect. It also has an excellent running properties and is recyclable in the paper waste stream. The paper is available in 75 GSM and gives very good printability in a range of different printing technologies. It is said to be ideally suited as primary and secondary packaging mainly for confectionery, chocolate bars, and various snack bars. So we're seeing a gradual slow shift away from sort of plastic solutions in this space into sort of paper-based initiatives, and this is another good example. Escal, which is a Strasbourg-based frozen seafood specialist, have announced that it is moving to a different material for its seafood packaging. The new material will be a mono-material PE, which contains 45% renewable materials, such as sugarcane or plant waste, which the company says makes the packaging completely recyclable. The company says that the CO2 footprint of the product will be improved by up to 60%. Also, bag sizes have been made smaller for some products. For example, white tiger shrimp, which will also contribute to reducing plastic use. The company announced that the rest of the range would also be gradually converted to this new material. And last up in this section, which is something we only just posted, I think, yesterday on our innovation zone. And this is from Hormel Foods, owners of the US's #1 selling peanut brand Planters nuts. And I like this design for two reasons. One is about sort of structural design change, but also how that structural design change manifests in terms of an environmental benefit. So they've redesigned the packaging for its 16-ounce or 453-gram PET jars. The new jar has an hourglass appearance to it, having been designed to more closely resemble the shell of a peanut. So I think that's quite a nice sort of distinctive point of difference. However, this redesigned jar also contains 8% less PET than the previous incarnation, making it effectively more sustainable and saving around 220 tons of plastic per annum. So as I say, I think quite like that sort of combination of design and sustainability combined to that effect. The company says that they are maintaining the same amount of peanuts in the redesigned bottle, and that was a real key challenge. Along with the bottle's physical change, the brand redesigned the label graphics, as often marketers do whenever they have a pack design change. And the new bottle is rolling out nationwide in 3 product varieties across the US. Now, last but not least, and our 4th trend area is the refill revolution section. So what we have here, the first one is an announcement of a design studio Blonde, and they've collaborated with online refillable grocery store Dizzy, which were up until last week Good Club, and they obviously rebranded to develop a range of reusable and recyclable pots. The pots come in 3 sizes, each size differing by a third, meaning that 3 small pots is equivalent to 1 large one. The lids are embellished with a groove detail to assist in nesting, both during delivery and in storage. Designed to be used as part of a closed-loop system, the pots are intended to be collected from customers, washed and returned for reuse. And it is estimated that it can be reused 200 times before going back to manufacturer to be broken down into their raw materials. The reality is, with an 85% return rate, no pack is ever going to be reused 200 times. So I think these solutions need to be designed to be reused at least by about 10 times, and that would effectively be enough for an 85% reuse rate. The pots are made from a biocomposite containing wood fibers and a biopolypropylene, and are said to be 98% renewable and are designed to utilize warehouse space more effectively than standard packaging. Next up is an American startup called Olive, which launched last year. Their initial aim was to eliminate waste from online shopping. Now, obviously, the online market has grown significantly in recent times, given a shot in the arm, if you like, through COVID, and that growth trajectory has slowed down, but is still significant. And this is enabling consumers to order from multiple sites and get products in one reusable pack. According to the company, with the new model, customers place an order with a brand that offers their Olive waste-free delivery at checkout. Olive partners with the brand to pack, ship, and deliver the customer's order in this Olive's reusable packaging. If the customer wishes to return the item, Olive picks it up and returns it to the retailer. If they wish to consign them, they put the items in the same packaging. The items are picked up and sold by a company called Linda's Stuff to be sold on eBay. So most items sell within 30 days and the customer and Olive split the sales proceeds. Now, this is an Estonian startup called Ringo Eco that provides restaurants, offices and events with a reusable packaging system. Their latest success has been supporting the Tallinn Marathon and was the largest sporting event apparently in Northern Europe this year so far, to move away from single-use disposable cups. By using Ringo Eco's reusable cups, they save an estimated 100,000 cups over 3 days. The system works by consumers registering on the Ringo website. When the customer gets a reusable cup, they are charged a small deposit, which is returned when the QR code on the cup is scanned and returned to one of the collection points. What I like about this is obviously a closed loop system. So if you're running a marathon, you're going to dispose of that cup in situ. So I like the idea that that is done in a closed environment, which should ensure a high level of empty cup redemption. Carrying on the marathon themes, anyone would think I'm running a marathon on Sunday and I'm just obsessed with running. This is High Five, and they're a UK-based company specialising in sports nutrition products, things like energy bars, gels and hydration tablets. And the business has acknowledged, as I have as a runner, that although single-use plastics are widely used in their industry and are ideal as a packaging format in terms of keeping the energy gels fresh, this method is not very sustainable. They're not recyclable, they're small, they get lost, they end up in the environment and or in landfill. So the company says that they're, while constantly looking at new ways of and alternative materials for their energy gels, they found a solution which is refillable. So the company says that the idea is that you fill up your reusable gel flask at home, allowing you to personalize your carb intake and even dilute the gel with water to your taste. After use, the consumer simply washes out the flask with soapy water and uses it again and again. So whether this is a viable and convenient alternative to single-use plastic packs at the moment remains to be seen, but the business is at least trying to come up with a solution that is seemingly more sustainable. Okay, a Carrefour store in Warsaw, Poland has introduced a pilot scheme whereby customers can bring in their own containers for filling. The pasta station, introduced in the Lubella pasta brand, is an automated machine that enables filling of pasta into paper bags, reusable bags, and the customer's own packaging. So we're seeing a number of these type dispensing opportunities throughout Europe, really, in various different retail stores. And it's quite interesting and exciting to see sort of product-specific execution, such as this pasta one, which obviously would have other applications for other things in due course. Live Nation is an American concert and festival presenter, and they partnered with Turn Systems to help venues do away with single-use cups. What I like about this is the use of smart bins. So Turn Systems provide reusable cups with a scannable code that activates a lid on smart bins for collection. So both cups and bins can be branded. For cleaning the collected cups, the company has used specially designed dishwashers, which are said to be 700% faster than conventional washers. The reusable patented cups can also be made of either aluminium or plastic. So as I say, I like the idea of a specially designed bin, smart bin that is using sort of QR codes that can actually sort of link back to the consumer. At a recent festival in Chicago, they experienced a return rate of 93%. But in some other situations, it has been as low as 58%. As an incentive, fans can also sign up via an app to be entitled to giveaways and things like that. So free merchandise and VIP upgrades, and perhaps that is the way forward in terms of encouraging consumers to embrace reusable packaging in this scenario. Okay, just 3 more, I think. So this is a German startup called One Less, and they've launched a range of food service packaging incorporating RFID technology. Each item contains a radio frequency identification tag, RFID, which means the company can harvest data and items can be tracked through the entire collection, cleaning, and reuse process. According to OneLess, every item can be reused 800 to 1,000 times. And as I mentioned earlier, the reality is that it's just never going to happen. But it's good that the products are very robust and long life. They are fully recycled at the end of its life, and the tag removed and reused again. The point of difference for the OneLess system is the offer of a deposit-free, intelligent and automated smart reuse system for closed environments, making it very straightforward and user-friendly. They say for every kilogram of OneLess dishware items, it is possible to save 25 kilograms of single-use plastic packaging. Another reusable mailer solution from Eco Enclosure. Customers can ship orders in their durable fabric re-enclosure mailers. Customers then return the mailers back so that they can be cleaned and reused for subsequent shipments. They are made from 100% recycled fabric, available in various sizes, thickness, and colors, and can be sent back to Eco Enclosure for recycling when they are no longer usable. Customers also have the opportunity have access to an online reusable mailer comparison calculator, which helps brands determine how many times their mailers must be reused to achieve the same carbon emissions as an equivalent sized single-used poly mailer. This is the penultimate one. So New York-based Reese is a new direct-to-consumer beauty brand that launched earlier this year. Its products are sold in reusable travel bottles and are currently available in 2 sizes. The company says that the bottles are designed and engineered to last for many years, and they have now formed a partnership with the French multinational retailer of personal care and beauty products, Sephora. The move is Sephora's first in the reusable travel bottle sector. The essential travel bottle retails for $18 or $15 for the 2 sizes. They say that customers can choose to engrave their forest green bottles with an intended product use at no additional cost. Alkynes is an Australian environmental organisation that has developed a platform to sustainably problem solve. Following a successful pilot programme, their Alkynes Coffee Cup Exchange programme, which replaces single-use coffee cups with rescued QR-coded op shop cups, is now operating in 20 cafes in Perth and Fremantle, and has so far reportedly saved more than 51,000 cups from landfill. When sold, the barista scans the unique QR codes at the bottom of the cup, which then tells customers how many coffee cups have been saved. Cafes pay a fee, a subscription, and receive cups of their choice, the measurement technology, point of sales collateral, etc., to make that happen. Right, this is definitely the last one. German startup Green Project Manufacturer has launched what it calls RePackit. The aim of RePackit is to ensure that well-preserved shipping packaging should be reused with the help of a free app. The company believes that a corrugated box can be reused up to 3 times on average without material losing its protective properties, and if the carton is still in usable condition, it still offers the same protection as a new one. The company says that since the majority of the emissions are generated during the manufacture of the boxes, a second life is based on the assumption that around 45% of greenhouse gases can be saved by reusing them. And if it is used 3 times, the savings are around 60%. Using the app, a location search can be used to find dealers who accept boxes in their immediate vicinity. The providers can then bring in their used packaging material. Okay, right, that was quite a tour de force of 32 sustainable packaging innovations. So I'm just now going to look at some of the questions. The TEPA film, industrial or home compostable, I was chatting to them last week, and I believe it's home compostable, but I will double check. I will, as part of the outputs, AJ, I will make sure that I annotate that. I don't want to get the wrong information, but I do believe it's home compostable. Another question, compostables are on the red list of most retailers for good reason. No curbside collection infrastructure. Are signs of this changing? Ian, I don't think they are, but what is consistent is the amount of compostable initiatives coming to our attention. So it's very difficult in the UK to launch a compostable pack when the biggest retailer, it's on their red list. So in fact, I was chatting to TEPA last week about some of the challenge they've got in this area. Personally, I think it's important that these developments continue to come to our attention, be refined. And there are measures in some markets to look at curbside collection or even better communication from consumers, but it is not an exact science. It's not perfect by any stretch, and you're very right to point that out. Another question from Peter Martin. Always intrigued by edible packaging. How does this address hygiene transfer between original delivery to consumption? Yes, absolutely. That has always been my challenge as well when I consider these things. An edible cup that you get served in a cafe that gets put down on the table, you're effectively meant to consume post-consumption. One, I'm not sure how many people are necessarily going to want to consume the cup when they've gone in to buy a coffee, potentially. So particularly some of these are quite a neutral taste. So, what is the nutritional value? What is the satisfaction you would get from that cup? But you're right, there are real challenges around the hygiene, perceived or otherwise, particularly just coming out of COVID, of edible packaging. So I think that's why, even though the technology is there, we haven't seen a mass proliferation of examples, and it carries on being a niche initiative. And as I said in my presentation, I think really it's the compostability where there is an opportunity rather than the edibility, which is more of a gimmick, in my opinion. The company doing the Australian edible cups is sorry, let me find that for you. It's always hard to find. Let me come back to you about that at the end. Apologies. It's always hard to sort of find the information at the end. I will annotate that as part of the outputs. And the mushroom mystery box is the Magic Mushroom Company. I will send, they're based in the west of the UK, I think. Again, I will send out information about that in the outputs. Time for one more question. The supplier of the paper-based spice bottles is Cullen Packaging. They're based in Glasgow. Again, I will give information in the outputs for that. Running out of time. These things always take longer than I anticipate. So 5 to the hour. So we're actually doing quite good for time. Just to let you know, we're back again next month. Our next webinar will be Thursday, the 20th of October, again at 3 p.m. UK. As part of the outputs for this webinar, you will be getting a link to register for that one. And I would like to thank you all very much for your attention. As I say, I will be sending out various bits of information about suppliers and questions that we've just had. There will be a link to view this webinar on YouTube, available within sort of 48 hours of this publication. So thank you all very much for your time. Look forward to seeing you on our next webinar on Thursday, the 20th of October. Thank you.